Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of SCA Coach's Corner. Tonight we have a great episode for you with reviewing some of the champions heroics, the heroic champions armored combat fights from this most recent Pennsic. So from just a couple of weeks ago, we have three guests here to help us go through those. So I'm going to ask them to go in turn and introduce themselves, starting with Randall.
Hey, Count Randall from Atlantia. Helped Aaron the Swift with the Allied side of the Heroic Champions selection committee.
And Louis.
And Earl Louis from Mid-Realm and helping choose people on the Mid-Realm side.
And Sir Aaron.
Hey everybody, Sir Aaron coming to you live from the famous Nutley, New Jersey. I helped the combined effort between East and Mid, and I fielded the Eastern half of our roster.
All right, so tonight, we're going to go through. We have videos to go through. We also have video of the youth combat that was done for the Heroic Champions. Randall, do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, our King Auburn specifically kind of made this one of his focal points in the negotiations early on to try to get a showcase for youth fighter from each side. And that's kind of what led to this. One of the better changes, I think, to the format is including this. I hope to see it continue. But young lady named Abigail from Atlantia, who's been at the forefront of doing things like Night with Knights, which is a popular sort of mixed chivalry and youth fighting event, and some other things. Their family's been instrumental. And I believe Gavin was the opponent who I've seen on the field a few times from the Mid-Realm. I know less about him. I know a lot about Abby because their family camps with mine. I've been good friends with them for a while. And they asked me specifically to shoot the overhead kind of style video of the fight. So that's what I did.
All right, so this is our first video. So as we go through, if you want to make comments or you want me to stop, pause, go through, we can do that for any of these as we go along.
Yeah, I do want to verbally again reiterate that parental consent was obtained before filming both parties and also posting to social media, just in case anybody missed that disclaimer. I do think it's important because some people rightfully worry about that sort of thing.
So this is Division 3. Is this Division 3 youth?
I believe so. This is the highest level from what I can remember. I am not an expert on this, but from doing Night with Knights, this is what I recollect being the most serious or not just touch. I think there is a force component. Here, the young man's shield broke, in addition to him getting hit in the arm. So there was some confusion. Oh wait, no, he didn't. That's right. I knew that. I'm confused about him getting hit in the arm. She's doing a good job of maintaining. I did talk to her afterwards about, recognizing that your opponent has to attack and defend with one object where you have two. So just try to get them to overextend. And it's just hard to chase somebody down from your knees.
Yep.
Especially these youngins.
Really,
they're going to heal. They'll heal in like a minute. It's unfair. It's wasted.
Yep.
It's wasted on these youths. So Gavin won the fight, but at the end of the week, I wanted to give Abby a shout out because she was voted the most chivalrous of the youth fighters all week long. A couple of knights came up to her independently or that didn't see this fight and gave her chains, links to the chain. So
nice.
Super shout outs to that. I hope Gavin also got some attention and some shout outs. He's not in my neck of the woods, so I'd be less knowledgeable about that, but he certainly comported himself very well.
Yeah, so that's really cool that they get the opportunity to be out there in this showcase for having more than, because there are a substantial portion of upcoming fighters. We have people participating starting when they're fairly young all the way through that's Div 3, and we've had a couple fighters who cross over right over at 16 into Tan. So it's good to have them there. So then we're going to switch over from that into the Armored Heroics. So who would like to introduce what's different this year and how things changed up for this Purple War?
Sure, I can start. First off, are you getting background noise on me?
A touch, but not too much. We can hear you just fine.
Okay, cool. So basically, this year, it being a Purple War, I got to work closely with the mid-realm, which, as we know, is a big difference than what we're used to doing. This year, we had 15 total fights, 3 of which had to be, or a minimum of 3 of which had to be unbelts. Is that right, Louis?
Yep, exactly.
And throughout the year, I coordinated with Count Louis for several months about who I'm looking at, who he's looking at, and we were able to put together really an all-star group. And the one hard thing about a Purple War is trying to hedge all you can against the most of the known world who might be coming to Pennsic. There's a lot of really good fighters out in the known world, obviously. And instead of just having to figure out who's going to be fielded from the mid and their allies, we have to figure out who possibly might want to fight from anywhere. So definitely a bit of a dynamic there.
And then on the strategy side, a couple things go into that. Looking at who you could possibly send out that might receive back any kind of a fighter. You might put somebody out, and say you put a 2-sword fighter out, you might get a polearm come back. So you got to think about how to match those up. What fighters are good for responding? What fighters are good for handling anything going out? Do the fighters bring several weapon styles, and are they real strong in all their weapon styles? If they're going to fight more than possibly more than one different weapon style, then we got to make sure there's lined up as best as we can estimate. But we have really no idea who's coming in. We know a lot of the fighters, and we try to think about possibilities, but there's far more possibilities than we can put out there. So lots of thought.
For sure. And this year, obviously throughout the whole lead up to Pennsic, as we're picking and choosing our folks, I'm used to maintaining a level of operational security where I tell the guys I pick, hey, of course, tell your household, tell your consort, but try to keep it under wraps, because we do our pairings on the field. So if we can keep it as much of a secret as we can of who our roster, of who's on our roster, that's just all the better for the sake of gamesmanship. Now, this year, something happened, which has never happened before that I can remember, much to my dismay, that the marshal on the field decided that a group honors was to be done for all rapier and rattan combatants before the start of Heroic Champions. And so we all got a nice up close glimpse at all of our rosters all at once. Which was really kind of different, and hope that doesn't happen again. But we made out okay, I think.
If it makes you feel better, I don't even think we noticed. We were we were so preoccupied of trying to figure out who we even had. But if that makes sense that would have been a good thing for us to have paid attention to. Maybe Aaron did. I don't know. He might have been talking to somebody more qualified than me at the time. I certainly didn't notice. I was trying to round up people to make sure we had folks where we needed to have them.
We don't know where it came from, but it happened.
Yeah, I tried not to pay attention too much, but when they announced it, I'm like, "Oh, you're asking us to show our hand."
Exactly. Yeah. Now, I'm sorry. Louis mentioned different kind of weapon forms and such, and that kind of segues directly into why Muhammad, who was our first fight here against Count Bjarki, why I chose him for the Eastern roster. He won his crown with sword and shield predominantly in the 16 and in the pools. He's known for his spear work and his pole work. He's phenomenal in both. And when I went to him months prior to Pennsic, he asked me, what weapon form should I bring? And I said, all of them. Have a retainer with you with every weapon you own and present yourself to the field with whatever you'd like. And he made the decision early on that he wanted to fight his fight with polearm. So one of the reasons why he was even out there is, of course, he's very talented, but also he can bring anything to fight that fight with. So, and we'll see shortly about what happened.
So, and Bjarki is from Ethelmark, is that correct?
Yes.
And they
He
both
stepped down.
down.
Yeah, he stepped down from his first reign, I want to say 6 months ago.
He was Prince at last Pennsic.
Yes.
I'm not sure what their timeline is.
They separate them here. Bjarki got a little overextended there, so he stopped himself, which was great. Boom.
Yeah.
Muhammad threw that exactly where he should have thrown it with the center grip shield fighter. The tippy top, and it rode all the way up and got him right in the ocular.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the first fight, and I think before we started coming on, we talked a little bit about how. So you said how the East and the Mid chose theirs. You said I think Arn, you had some insight, and Randall had some insight in how the Allies chose their teams as well. Either of you want to say anything about that, or just talk about it as we roll through them? I
respect what Arn was talking about like, having to be up against the known world. The flip to it is like when you're the known world, like I think the East and the Mid are your most consistent. The East and Mid and Ethelmark are your most consistent attendees. Like generally speaking, like I think you can go to Vegas and take very good odds on bets of who from y'all's kingdom is going to show up. But when you have to field from the known world, not only do you have to like figure out who's going to be at Pennsic, I'm meeting people. We don't want to insult the king of the West, who was great, like a great dude, great fighter. But there's also considerations of geography where we just kind of have to. We don't want our folks that drove 3 days to get here, got on a plane to get here, be left out of these champions opportunities. So it's a much more shorter notice kind of like what we didn't know what our hand was until about really Saturday. And we were just trying to fill in the gaps, and some of our options got clipped in the heroic in the belted fight. We lost 2 or 3 guys from shots there. No shade, just facts. Like they just came off of that with I sprained my wrist getting hit in the fat part of the thumb. I know one of our guys got hit in the shoulder and didn't feel had to remove himself, and these things happen. So
and that's totally and. I can tell. So for those who don't know, the Saturday before Champions Sunday is what's called, it's called a lot of things. It's called King's Moot, Meeting of the Crowns, Beer and Brats, what have you. And it is a meeting where all of the royals and their retinues essentially show up and they declare how many soldiers they're bringing, and there is a party, and it's a good meet and greet. But it's also a place to, as Aaron and as Randall were doing, really solidifying the team and the roster that they were putting out. Now, I've been in this situation as dual captain for the East. This was my 4th time, and then I've consulted in the past. But this in Pennsic's past, when I've had to, find out our allies, our foreign allies, folks that aren't, Atlantia or Ethelmark, folks that I have relationships with, I explained, Aaron explained to me, really one of his biggest hurdles was getting in contact with these warlords, with these sitting royals, just really getting information from them pre-Pennsic of who is going to be showing. And that's really key. If you can get an in with, let's say you find out that Aitenvelt's is going to be your ally. If you can, get to know that warlord so you have a better idea of who's showing up and even make an ask. That's one thing that Aaron mentioned to me afterwards in our debrief together. He wasn't really sure if it was untoward to make the ask of a specific combatant, and so it seemed as if he left it a lot to the crowns to simply give who they wanted to be their representative at that time, which is totally a way of doing it. But there are also ways, again, this kind of goes back to the East and Mid do this damn near professionally every year. So we kind of leverage our relationships a lot of the time. And Aaron mentioned to me that he, learning this whole event, did have some trouble with that.
So our second fight was Thaddeus and Galfred. This is one of the first of the unbelted fights. Louis or Arn, do you know who was the person who sent out the challenge with this one?
Yeah, so we sent Muhammad first as because we were ahead in points. So Aaron the Swift sent out Galfred, and we responded with Thaddeus the Seer, who is in the other room right now. Thaddeus is squire to His Majesty Urayu, Grand Squire to Sir Tanaka, and practices with Douglas Henry every week.
Galfred is one of our best unbelts. He finaled in the crown that Auburn won.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes to mind, like, that guy's a road dog who goes to 3 or 4 practices a week. And the poor guy is usually on the receiving end of all of my highlight videos because he's always at my practice and I'm always posting videos just beating the hell out of him. I feel bad. I try to make sure that when he sneaks some in that he gets some love, but he's been one of our most dedicated guys, super athletic, really, really good student. He absolutely earned the spot.
I met Galfred when I came to visit y'all at Gem Joust this year. Immediately knew who he was just from videos and such. Of course, I was impressed with his drive, his athleticism, his overall prowess and fighting ability. So I was not surprised in the least to see him across the field from us. He is somebody that I had on my short list of unbelts from Atlantia, so that's a good pick.
Now, a good counter with the 2 stored because I like that's he hadn't fought Athos enough. We're gonna get him fighting our prince, get him trained up on the 2 sticks.
Yeah, I could tell early on in this fight that Galfred was like, all right, what the hell is this kid even bringing? Because he's not fighting a conventional 2-sword form that you can look up on YouTube. He's fighting a pretty specific form that he learned from his knight and his line. And he did a lot of backpedaling, as we saw there. And I could see Galfred trying to figure out how he was going to handle this.
A little bit of that, but honestly, it's also me telling him just to burn a minute. Like, I told him to burn a minute no matter what. Like,
Makes sense.
just don't like, unbelts especially feel like they're on a shot clock. I was like, dude, you're not on right before that. I was like, you're not on a shot clock. Burn a minute, get this whole urgency crap out of your head, then turn it on. Just stay. You're not here to entertain. I didn't care about entertaining people at Crown. I cared about winning. If it took 15 minutes, it takes 15 minutes. Like,
yep. That was a good exchange there.
Mm-hmm.
Thaddeus has a lot of unorthodox striking, which we'll see shortly.
His stance and weight is odd. I did like the forward on the. I mean, like, I'm trying to figure out which hand is dominant, which is usually both for these guys. They don't. But that is definitely odd. The shoulder, the shoulder being kind of directly over his lead foot.
Mm-hmm. He is certainly unorthodox, and he's another road dog. Like you said, he's one of the hardest working unbelts that I've seen in a long time. He won this year's Burka, which is a huge boon to him. Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's a fella. He's a unit for sure. So there, it looked like, Thaddeus came in pretty hard, slipped, recovered, blocked, and then got his arm on the way back up.
Yeah.
Also, kudos to the marshals for not calling a hole and letting it figure itself out. there's going to be about a minute or two wait here if you want to fast forward because Galford went to go. I think put arm armor on his shield arm.
He swapped out.
Yep.
Sorry. Yep, there you go.
Yep.
That's my gauntlet, and it was broken. The next fight. Now I can send him the bill. Thank you. This is paid off tremendously.
I was actually really nervous here because Galford almost gets this thrust. Thaddeus just slipped it at the last minute, and I didn't like how Thaddeus just didn't close and shut him down. Look at that. He really, really just moved his head at the last minute to slip that thrust. It went right past his head.
No, smart of Dustin for going for the double too. You got to go all in.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been threatening tip one to control distance from the get go, but I haven't worked with him enough on that style. But that's the one modification he needs to make is to hang the tip out, so that transition from C to A range is something that's a little bit more perilous.
Great on belt fight though.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third fight, this was then Roshin and Dagar.
Yep.
Who was one who sent out? This was one the East Mid set out Dagar. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Roshin is from so Dagar is from the Two Chucks, and Roshin is from North Shield.
I want to mention that I think this is the first time an active Two Chucks, let alone the overdog of the Two Chucks, was fielded in such a capacity. I know that there's been former Two Chucks that have gone on to knighthood that have fought in heroic champions, but this is, I believe, the first time we've actually fielded an active Two Chuck, which I thought was pretty cool.
And Dagar brought out multiple weapons forms. He was ready to go on whatever. He brought pole, sword, shield, two sword.
I got to meet Roshin actually at War of the Phoenix last year in February. She's super cool, really defensive fighter. She blocks stuff that you think you've got her dead to rights, and she's got great little last minute slips and blocks. Really love her defense and how she can poke you in the face out of nowhere. And I was nervous the whole time that she was going to get him down the middle. No, where are we going? Oh, there we go.
Getting a better view.
Well, Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
She's got interesting timing too.
Mm-hmm.
And
you think you have a shot blocked, and then it slides in behind you.
she'll come down to our practice and she'll hit me like with these high breaking shots with the off the side. It's kind of interesting.
For sure. There it is. Yep. I knew it was going to be a poke. I just didn't know who was going to get it.
All right, the next fight ends up as Ragnar Blackhammer against Kellic.
Yep.
So a very strong ducal fight, and they sent out Ragnar, so we responded with Kelly.
I always generally have Ragnar on my short list if Atlantia is against us, and also if he's with us. Louis, I think that this was a good call on your part for Kelly.
He's crafty, and you know he's always like some fighters you see their physical, like they have a physical injury or something. Like it doesn't matter what Ragnar's always a threat, regardless of whether he's in like great fighting shape or mediocre fighting shape or whatever. He can roll out of bed and be a threat.
And Kellic just has that great drop thrust that you see all the time.
Yeah, Kellic's good.
That
right there.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Hit it. Shoot, I gotta remember that one.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
Remember that one.
So just for the timing, the way these actually worked and played out the day of, there were rapier fights in between each of these fights, or 2 rapier fights between, depending on the fight. And then so now we're back to next one was Duke Edward and Duke Gaston.
Yep.
And Gaston is Trimaris, and Edward is from the east, correct?
I'm not sure if it's Trimaris.
He's got Trimerian
Does he?
symbols on there.
Yeah.
I think he's from Trimaris. I know Edward way better than I know the guy that we set out.
Is that Gaston? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to put Edward back out this year because he was coming off of a great win for last year's heroics. I want to keep that momentum up. He's always somebody I can rely on to really fight anybody, whether it's another Duke, whether it's a sitting royal. He's someone of good renown, great prestige, and he's obviously extraordinarily skilled. This was a really cool fight.
I fought him in the Champions fight at Gulf Wars, and it's one of the reasons I don't like doing Champions fights anymore. Is because that was the best fight I've ever fought in my entire life. I ended up coming away with it, but that was a huge growth point for me in my own career. Was that fight? And I've always tremendously respected him. I knew who he was before then. I didn't expect to win, but just dialed in and had a 3 or 4 minute good fight with him. Thank God it's on tape. But I've always liked him and respected him. He's a beast.
He is. He's just extraordinarily, and he's got his own style. It's Ed Gray.
He's too nice. He's too nice to be this good. It's not right.
I was actually really impressed with Gaston as well. He really showed. I don't know him at all. First off, love his kid. His kid is phenomenal. Anybody that fights competitively in an Armet gets my respect.
That's close.
Close, yeah.
Yeah.
I was able to get some pickups with Gaston, and it was a lot of fun. Need a little bit more arm armor though for him.
He's got great covers. Most people I know wouldn't be able to survive that. What Ed just threw, that flurry, but he's got great covers.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah, we had some slippage more so than I remember in years past. I don't know, the grass seemed longer. Not that it's an excuse or anything, but I also were used to fighting, I think, on the same field that the Allies are usually fought on, so it tends to be stamped down a little bit.
It's a good point, actually.
Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a great point, Randall.
There's a comment from the Facebook. Gaston also did Battle of the Nations steel fighting for a while as well.
Oh.
Makes sense.
Well, that shows why he's comfortable fighting in a close zone. I was getting a little worried because Duke Ed, he does that thing where he does that SWAT thrust where he'll hang his arm out looking for that thrust. He was doing it at enough of a distance that I wasn't too worried, but against a guy like this caliber of lefty, I was getting a little nervous about it.
I love this guys. This is the kind of fights where high level fighters ooh, ah, and everybody's this is boring.
The patience and manipulation is really good.
Yeah.
Really positional and patience. So. Now when Ed got over that, just slipped over the top.
He didn't. You got to turn your hand out if you want to block.
Took that back too far. Hold on. There we go.
Yeah, that was a sneaky angle. That was an interesting shot.
And yeah, Gaston, they stood still too long, and let Ed just line that up.
Yeah.
So this next one that we got coming up, they sent out His Grace Zipser, and we replied back with His Highness Sasha.
Yeah, we had a feeling Sasha wasn't going to sit this one out. We were like, well, we know they got Sasha. We know they got Rockfalter. I feel confident. We weren't sure about Tom, Val Horick.
Yeah.
I camped with a friend of mine in Sir Shea, and he was like, because he was strategizing with me. He's like, I saw Val at a party, but he had kind of like a surgery boot on. And I was like, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Val would wear a fake one.
No, that was actually a real injury. But
So Val
was on my list.
Setting it up.
But he got a knee cop edge into his toe, had to go to the hospital.
Oh, no. I think he would take what I'm saying as a compliment. Because it is a compliment.
Zipser's got a really fast flat snap. A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Oh.
That one, unfortunately, the shot came through off the top of the screen on that one.
This is Aaron. I'm not sure who the
Aaron the Swift and Sirius, Sir Sirius.
So who was the one who was sent out on this one?
Or Cobalt.
Cobalt, yeah. So who was the?
So
we received.
I sent
we
out
responded. Yeah.
Yeah, I sent out Sirius, and then Aaron responded with himself.
I think this is one of the. I don't think we won many heavies. I think this was one of the few that. Spoiler alert.
So both of them have got knighted more recently, like in the last couple of years.
Aaron was from the East and recently moved to Philly, if memory. So he's like, I think he's an Eastern, like culturally more East, but also did a fine job for Ethelmark. But I think he's in Philadelphia with Barry.
He his dad is Cygnus, Duke Cygnus, and he went and lived in the East, got knighted in the East, and I think he went. I was thinking he went back to Ethelmark.
Okay, I always thought he was from the East, or maybe he was in college in Rochester. That may have been a different. Is Cygnus from Ethelmark or from the East?
Ethelmark.
Oh, okay. I thought he was an Eastern Duke. His dad's good too. His dad whooped my ass at Gulf Wars.
He's a tough fight, and we often see him in the heroics.
I thought I had a good pendulum. I was like, oh. I was like, oh. That's nasty.
Aaron's got a lot of speed.
Yep.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Really quick on blocking his
sick wrap.
The lines of his head coming back.
Good angle.
Yeah. So the next one here,
Brian.
the Allies sent out Brian, yeah, and Arn responded with Douglas Henry. and I think I heard that there were maybe a little bit technical difficulties. I think Douglas Henry didn't have. I think he has hearing aids. Didn't have one in or something like that. So.
No, I got to give respect to Brian. He was like, I don't think this was on his bingo card. And we kind of came to him a little bit last minute to see if he'd be available after we had some injuries, and he stepped up to the plate. And good shot. Yeah, it's going to block on it, but
I'm back.
deserves a little bit of respect for stepping up.
We've got Douglas here.
Yeah, I've been watching. I've been trying to get your attention. I've been backstage.
Sorry about that.
All good. Yeah, so this was a good fight for Doug. I really wanted to get him back out there again this year, and really try and get him a good win. This was a tough one. I know Duke Bryan is Duke, correct?
Yes.
I know. I don't know him well. I've fought him a few times in my career, and I told Doug, I'm like, whatever you do, you keep that distance, and you get away from that old man. You know, because he's gonna get you.
I mean, Brian's style is so different than mine. It's hard for me to like break him down, but like this dude, he is a Duke and also has passed his ducal accolade, has finaled in multiple Atlantean. I mean, I'm talking serious crowns. Like there was a crown with 65 people, and he finaled with Amos when Amos won his second one. But that was a nasty list, and he made it all the way through the finals and looked good doing it. Ragnar beat him in the finals on Ragnar's last reign, so he's he either loses in the finals or sometimes usually gets an injury that can take him out. But he's tough nut to crack.
Yeah, on the previous one, Aaron had commented on the comments saying he was Ethelmark, moved to Philly, and he's back to Rochester. So,
is Rochester in Ethelmark?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I just in my head, New York is just always the East, and I forget that y'all split the state up.
That's our Dougie.
yeah, that was the one where he just didn't hear the initial one being good with that thrust.
Ain't no shame in making sure that they're dead.
No.
In a fight like this.
Left hand, the thrust comes in nice.
5 tap.
It was a 4-piece. What are you gonna do?
They were in the head. They were all in the face. You got to pay on that. It wasn't in the balls.
I thought that was a good matchup.
Yeah, no, that was a good cerebral fight.
Okay, hold on just a second.
Step away
I need to
for
switch
just a
over.
second.
Yeah, we've got Maynard and Ingolf coming up.
Yep. So there we have this. Yeah, this is Maynard from Ethelmark and Ingolf from the mid round.
Mm-hmm.
And
Who
we
was the
sent out
opponent?
Ingolf, and they responded back with Maynard.
Yeah.
And it's a Duke versus a Knight, but Ingolf deserves that fight.
It's actually the second time he got a Duke in Heroic Champions. He got Duke Ed last year.
Yep.
This was always going to be a tough fight for Maynard due to Ingolf's speed and his precision. But Maynard, as always, acquitted himself. He's such a special fighter.
I think Ingolf did a great job on trying to not give a straight line attack coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Fox?
Yeah.
Okay. I owe him a highlight video from his bridge stuff. I've been working on that. I was marshaling the bridge, and that guy was just such a joy. de-escalating things, but also like running in and just being a whirling dervish and having a good time and laughing. Super good dude. Like,
Yeah, he's a nut, but he's so talented.
yeah, just everything you would want from a martialist standpoint of like shutting down the bickering, keeping people engaged, keeping it happy, but still aggressive. Like, very good impression was made.
This next one, Louis, you had the names for this one.
This is Andromedus and Salvador.
Andromedus is my squire. He is a joy to have as a squire. Kid works incredibly hard, and this was something he was ready for sure. And we know Salvatore halfway decent. He hops in the van with Duke Tim probably about 2-3 times a year. Comes to Nutley every now and then, so I know him pretty well. We were also unbelts together, and this was a good matchup for Andromedus, and well, for both of them, really. Both of them also had good communication during this bout, if I remember correctly.
Honestly, it reminds me of Breeder.
A little bit. A little bit.
He's got a little bit of that.
A little bit. He's had more than a handful of passes with him, that's for sure. He's been trained them. Yep. And that you got that. I think that thrust came right like neck, collarbone, maybe bottom of his bottom of the grill.
Yeah, about this thing, much harder to get this one done.
He just goes out of frame.
Why can't my body-worn camera footage do that?
But the angle he chose for that thrust, I thought was perfect. He really sunk that in hard.
Yeah, so he's just coming right. Sorry, yeah, you just can't see it on this set, but he's just coming right over top.
It's a good one. It was a great win for him. He works really hard. I'm glad I was able to put him out.
That's cool. That's a cool moment.
This next one is Rongvalder and His Majesty of the West. So who sent this one out?
I sent out Rumvalder,
Mm-hmm.
and we wanted to see what he would pull in, and it was His Majesty Sig.
We were also out of like, and not that this is a bad decision, but like for perspective, we I think we were running low on our royal, not disrespectful Uno skip cards. We wanted to send somebody that Rongval, that was of equal status, and so we sent a king.
For sure.
And he's like the King of the West is very, very, very good and super nice. Crazy real names. Real name's Ben Hitz. His last name is Hitz. I was like, what? That's too cool.
Fun fact: His Majesty East His Majesty West back when he was in the New York metro area was a Nutley guy 20 years ago. 15, 20 years ago, yeah.
He's VDK, yeah?
I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
But maybe, yeah. Maybe someone could chime in the chat. I'm not sure about that.
And Rumvalder's very patient.
No, Ron patient?
This is still his fight from 2024.
Legend has it he's still out there right now.
Yes.
I can't remember a year where he wasn't fielded. He's always someone, like when we fight the mid, he's always someone that's just an auto include on my list. His Majesty West almost was able to get His Grace's leg as well, but Rongvalder's sword fouled that last attempt. It was,
Yeah, he had the block down with his. See
yep,
Yep.
there.
right there. Yep, exactly. Masterful.
Yeah,
He just knows when to keep his sword there for just a little longer.
and blocked it with the back blade.
Yep. It's pretty absurd, honestly.
Rogbalder has him twitching all over the place.
Yep.
Now, so.
He has that effect.
As he catalogs every single reaction.
Yep.
There it is.
Right. Back to this playlist. The next one.
So they sent out His Grace Bobby, and I asked to take this one.
Yeah. So what were you thinking when you were fighting him in this one?
Yeah, so I'm trying to give enough closeness in range to really, I want him to want to throw. But I want to keep some pressure on him at the same time. So I'm trying to really stay at the edge of range. But with his hand up like that, I'm thinking the whole time he's going to want to thrust. Kind of had his point forward a little bit. And he'll throw the flat snap too, but I'm more worried about the thrust. And I'm okay with trying to bring this fight a little bit longer.
Maybe you can see Bobby also doesn't want to get drawn in and pulled in and stay in there either. So
Also trying to keep me moving around so that there's less time for setup. Some fighters, it'll make them feel a little more anxious to throw shots.
I think this does take it for the longest fight of the day for sure. Which isn't a problem. I mean, of course, I've got fights in heroics that are 13, 14 minutes long. So I can't really, just saying. I mean, my Wigdane fight last year was at least 9.5.
And I usually tend to try to put a lot of pressure, and I'll leave my head open a little bit to invite a shot. So some people will say tense their core a little bit too much, and then that'll affect how long they have left to fight. But every time we go to Golf Wars and we get some time, we try to get some pickups together. We have a lot of fun fighting.
I've never had the pleasure. I've fought both his kids, but never him.
What a game. I've never fought. Only his children have I come.
only both his Duke sons.
Children. I've not had the chance to kill him myself yet, but the day will come.
Only both of his sons both were named their graces.
Seems to be a name that runs in the family.
Longer than I remember.
Yeah, so that last shot, you want me to go back to that, or are you good? Go to the next one?
Sure.
This is Sir Jan from the East. He was the question, and they responded with I believe it's Count Floki, or
you want to answer your
Earl Floki.
Jarl Floki, and this is Jan's fourth time Heroic Champions. This was going to be a tough one for him. I ended up getting some pickups with Floki the day before, so I had a little bit of info to share with Jan before he went out there, but not a ton. I did know that I noted that Floki did not have what I would call a full-size Madu on hand. Definitely a shorter weapon in his offhand than what I expect to see from down that way. And I told Jan, I'm like, whatever you do, don't get into a gunfight. Sit him down as fast as you can. You see that Floki's going to come in here looking for that poke into the body. Missed it. And he's going to try it again. And that's where Jan legs him.
Does he have one or two thrusts on that?
He's got two.
Okay.
Yep.
Bang.
Yeah, he tried to get up to the face, just couldn't get up to it.
Spicy leg. Jan is, he was my knight. I'd love to have the opportunity to showcase him and to show how talented he is. He's been fighting for a very long time. And he's inspirational every time he's out there. Floki got close a couple times there. He threw a thrust coming up that hit right at the top of Jan's shield, but Jan was being as tight and dialed in as possible, like right there.
Yep.
It's always nice because actually, little fun fact: both Jan Kolchevalric line, obviously including me, all comes from Onstiora at some point. So it's always nice.
All right, so this is the second to last fight, I believe. This is the third unbelt fight.
Yep.
Morales was fighting for the middle. Who was the fight from the Lycus? From the Allies. Morales is King's Champion for the middle.
Yes.
So it's Florentine against Sword and Madu. So.
Well, they didn't stand on ceremony.
Right into it.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Yep. And Antigone pointed out, Lycus comes out of the Outlands from a foam fighting background. So this was
Nice.
reset. This was reset to fight. There's a hold called partway in there, and they had reset before Morales had lost his arm.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They called the hold before he got hit there.
And got the butt spike in there.
Good fight.
And this is the last fight. So that was the last of the unbelt fights. This is the last. Arn, you want to talk about this one?
Sure. I'd like to just keep it paused for 1 second. Okay. So I want to give credit to Aaron and probably also Randall for trying to be sneaky. So I was under the impression, because of just, I'm constantly watching that side of the field. I really thought in my heart of hearts I was about to fight Duke Cygnus, Aaron's dad. And I was really gung-ho about it because they're dear to me. That whole family is dear to me. And I'm like, what a way, what a cool culmination. All right, I really wanted to fight. It's so much so, and Aaron knew it, so much so that he had his dad pretty much grab his helmet and put it on. So I'm sitting on my sidelines, and I've got dudes behind me who are on lookout, yep, Cygnus just grabbed his helmet. This all you, bud, all you. And so then I go out there, and lo and behold, I fight His Majesty on His Highness Onstiora instead. So really cool little bait and switch. Love the gamesmanship. Top tier gamesmanship on Aaron's part for sure.
Well, I appreciate the probably. I didn't have nothing to do. If I had anything to do with that, I would be definitely taking credit, without it.
It was very well done, and that's why
I respect the prank so much that's why I have to not take credit. If I didn't respect it, I'd just steal it.
It was
all my idea.
So this is when they announced, and I have 0 passes with Crepin. I have some passes with folks that fight that of that style. I have some passes with Sven, some passes with Ragnar. I have some passes with practitioners of the form in the East, like Barry. And all I knew here is that the last thing I want or could do here is get into a gunfight. And this was all about really what I like. My read here was kind of my only chance, because I knew that the left was coming. And I wanted to see if basically I could get the fight done before the follow-ups came, the inevitable follow-ups came.
So where are you projecting threat right now?
So let's go back there real quick.
Yeah.
So the entire time I'm waiting for the right cross with the immediate follow-up of the left wrap. That's what I'm waiting for. And so I'm hyper dialed into waiting for contact from the right. Now, the way that the contact from the right came, if we can slow it down, so he shows a little check there. I do a step to the side and then a step back and then a step forward. So where the right came in, and the moment it contacted my shield, the moment he moved is when I took the dive. So I'm not looking, I'm waiting for the right. So to answer your question, Louis, that's what I was waiting for. And just knowing that the left was coming. So boom, right there is the body shot.
Yeah, watching it looked like he had a lot of pressure on his right shoulder visually. Really good fight.
He really lunged. He took more of a lunge with the right to close the distance, which is what gave me all the real estate to get that in.
Yeah.
It was, the fight had to be over quick. The longer that went on, the chances of my getting out of it would go down and down and down. So, but
yeah, he needed to freeze your hand before committing that fast. And he thought he had.
Yep. Hell of a contest all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the comment from Antigone on that one, Antigone commented that it was, if it makes you feel any better, a bunch of us were surprised when Crepin got called as well. So, so with that brings us to the last of the fights from the Armored Champions. I'd like to thank, we're using footage from SCA Italy and we're using footage from Boomy for those fights. So we'd like to thank them for having the video out there the whole time and making that available to use to take a look at this. Any of you guys have comments, thoughts at the end of this for the overall experience?
I mean, I think the most important thing to remember is, you can't win them all. But in keeping with the theme of this year, for me personally, Arn may have walked away with the win, but I still have his T-shirt. So, still got your T-shirt, baby. Still got it. Got plans for it. Anyway, that's an inside joke. But no, it was a really interesting opportunity. Usually it's head up the East and the Mid. It's their baby. That's y'all focus on it year round. The same way that Atlanta, we focus on the Allied Champions battle. So it was an interesting position to be put in to try something new and learned a lot from it. And look forward to potentially being more involved in the future, depending on how things shape up.
In the chat, Antigone asks if we could share what we think our favorite fight was. So I can definitely say I think Thaddeus the Seer versus the unbelt fight, Thaddeus the Seer versus Galford from Atlantia was my favorite. Louis, what do you think?
I really liked how you took the strategy with Crepin.
Oh, thanks, man.
I thought that was interesting. It's a little different than how I've seen other people approach that fight, and it was good to watch. I got a lot out of it.
I'm happy it went the way it went.
I'm not going to try that because I would get my whole leg and ribs torn apart. But
Randall, did you have one?
Yeah, I can't remember their names, but it was the one I was commenting on earlier about how the high end fighters are enthralled with all the subtle movements, but it's on its face, it's kind of a boring fight. I can't remember who those two were.
That was Edward and
that was Edward. Yeah,
I thought that was the most. That was to me the most Madden telestrator-ish fight, which is what I like because I'm a nerd. In a game of nerds.
Yeah, I particularly like watching Louis and Bobby's fight. It was a good strategy because I was watching Louis just how we could just try to just tire Bobby out because it was clear that was slowly happening as it was clear to get a little more frustrated.
That was kind of a goal. He's dangerous, and so I got to use that's what I do, and that's what I tried to bring. So. But I thought overall there was a lot of great fighters in there, a lot of good names, a lot of fights that really you can get a lot out of watching. I thought it was excellent overall, and uh, everybody was great about all the outcomes of all the fights.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
it was a nice clean day, and it seemed to go over really well.
Yeah, it was a good one. Like overall, I'd fight that tournament again against Aaron any day of the week. I hope that Aaron and Randall, you two, get a chance to, be in that position somehow. Whether or not that can be something that can, be something that you do every year, every other year. It's important. Obviously, I care about this event deeply, and I really want to see this kind of position that myself and Wigbane last year and Louis this year take on this mantle and just pass on, and find other people around the known world that want to do this, in this way. It's important. It's one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most prestigious contests of the year, and it should always have that.
I know for me personally, like, when I'm put into a position that's going to be very demanding and very difficult, and the only way to get out of that responsibility is by winning crown, that's the best crown motivator for me personally. So signing myself up for these things, taking it upon myself, and then being like, dude, the only way I'm going to get out of this is by winning crown. I got to, got to start training. I got to start motivating. These are the mental tricks that you need to, harness to get to those next levels. Because I 100% mount off and then had to volunteer to be War of the Wings Marshal and then had to win crown and not do that. I am joking, buddy. These are jokes. But no, it was a good. It was a good time.
I think that brings us to a close on the fights. Louis, I think you have what's up for next week.
Right. So next week we're gonna talk about the Pennsic battles and melees and everything that went on there, and hopefully we'll pull together enough footage and we'll talk about the scenarios and how everything played out.
Are we doing a class review too? Am I wrong about that?
We will be doing a class review. I believe that is in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, good. Thank you. I'm glad we cleared that up.
So yeah, we have upcoming events that focus. So the upcoming Coaches Corners are focusing on, or this one and the next two are focusing on things from Pennsic. So that would be today was, as I said, Armored Champions. Next week will be the melees, and the following will be a review of the classes. Those classes were recorded, and so go back through and how some of those went. Anyone else have any last minute words for tonight before we wrap up?
I'm all good. I appreciate your time and having me on, guys. I'm going to go try and get some fights. I'm at practice still. Gotta go.
Regnum Orientalis is the words that I have for the chat. Whatever that means.
All right. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night. Thank you all for joining us online as well. Thank you for all the comments we got. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night.